The FIFA World Cup is a colossal global event, attracting nearly 5 billion TV-connected fans from around the world and hundreds of millions of fans who will travel to the host country. We are talking about a huge influx of money. The host state invests so much in accommodations, transportation, and most importantly, stadiums. However, when the curtain falls and the focus shifts, the fate of monumental stadiums becomes an enigma. What happens to them? Today, we delve into the World Cup arenas in Russia, Brazil, and South Africa, and see the consequences of money spent or wasted. We will compare them with the latest host country by analyzing Qatar's strategy, with, for example, the surprising decision to demolish one of its stadiums after the celebrations or to take it apart and sell it. Stay tuned to find out how. Note: only 2.5% of those who tune in are subscribed to our channel. If you like our content, don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. We love to converse even with those who don't think like us. Let's proceed. Qatar and its 2022 World Cup Odyssey. In the previous decade, Qatar embarked on an ambitious and expensive journey, creating wonders for the World Cup: ultra-modern stadiums, elite training grounds, and enhanced transportation routes. A project projected into the future with cutting-edge designs and facilities. They spared no expense when it came to money, and unfortunately, human lives. Spending reached an incredible $200 billion, a figure never imagined by previous hosts, especially since Qatar was shaping its infrastructure in a new way, also aimed toward the reuse of the materials and structures themselves. More on how later. But now let's compare some figures. The cost to Russia was about $16 billion only 4 years earlier. South Africa with just $3.8 billion. Brazil, on the other hand, contributed $20 billion in 2014. And $20 billion seems excessive for an event that lasts just a month and a few hours of play, as nations dream of lasting benefits after the World Cup frenzy, imagining rejuvenated transportation lines, greatly increased tourism, and stadiums transforming into entertainment centers. The aspiration to transform their primary use is promising. But the reality, as we shall see, is quite different and deviates from these dreams in even embarrassing ways. Looking back at the annals of World Cup venues, the prospects are far from rosy. Qatar's alternative project awaits our attention, but first it was crucial for them to understand what pitfalls they want to avoid, mindful of the mistakes made by its predecessors. Let's see how they did it. The curtain has come down on the World Cup venues in Russia. Looking back at previous World Cups, the focus inevitably ends on the 2018 edition hosted by Russia. Let's take a look at their status. The country opened 9 new stadiums and improved 3 of the existing ones. Assessing the scale of this effort is not easy, but there is no doubt that it constitutes a significant part of the $16 billion budget allocated by Russia for the entire event. After the tournament, Russia's strategy was to turn these facilities over to local soccer teams, an unfortunate choice. In theory, it made sense. Arenas designed for soccer matches, with expected ticket revenue offsetting maintenance costs. But as is often the case, reality proved otherwise. Russian teams with modest, if any, fan following often struggle to fill even half of the stadium seats. The Russian league is not exactly among the best-looking or most followed in the world. Take the Olympic Stadium in Sochi. Local matches usually attract only 6,000 spectators, a paltry 15% of its full capacity. Such low attendance puts their economic sustainability at risk, depleting resources and shifting the financial burden to citizens. For it is clear that the financial burden will always fall on the shoulders of the citizens. These architectural marvels, once celebrated, now appear to many as lavish but useless and expensive relics of former World Cup greatness. Things took a turn for the worse when the Kaliningrad Stadium began to sink into the surrounding wetlands, necessitating nearly $1 million in recovery operations. That's right, more expenses for an almost completely unused structure that is sinking into the ground. Would you have saved it? Financially speaking, it would have been more prudent to give it up and demolish it. However, amid these stories of decline, the Kazan Arena comes out slightly better, re-evaluated as a diversified epicenter of various activities. It serves not only as a football facility and concert hall, but also offers restaurants, bars, and housing. Perhaps this is the key to resilience, transforming the space into a completely new destination. 4 years earlier, South Africa hosted the World Cup, and its venues were marginally better than those of Russia and Brazil. Durban's Moses Madiba Stadium became a versatile facility, ready for events and musical performances or bungee jumping. However, success is not universal across all South African facilities. Cape Town's 65,000-seat stadium never achieves profitability. Rumors have increased suggesting its demolition, and its fate seems inevitable. Qatar is intent on avoiding the pitfalls encountered by previous World Cup hosts. Their journey, however, has been fraught with controversy. Numerous FIFA executives, nearly 30 in number, have resigned due to substantiated allegations of bribery and corruption. The situation took a darker turn in 2013 when Amnesty International highlighted the severe mistreatment of migrant workers, many of whom were subjected to dangerous working conditions, insufficient wages, or not paid at all. In 2021, The Guardian newspaper revealed an alarming analysis that more than 6,000 workers had died in Qatar since the World Cup bid, casting a shadow over the nation's international reputation. However, in this storm of criticism, one area where Qatar has remained unscathed has been its post-tournament stadium utilization strategy. Let's see how they built them. What is Qatar's plan for the legacy of World Cup stadiums? To understand the scope, keep this in mind. Qatar, with a population close to 400,000, has built facilities that can accommodate as many as 420,000 fans. Crazy, right? Let's move on so you can better understand the magnitude of this decision. To put it in context, Russia has a population of 140 million and Brazil 220 million. If these populous countries had problems with stadium attendance, what chance does Qatar have? However, Qatar's foresight goes beyond mere spectator numbers. It is about reshaping these spaces. How? The twin jewels, Lusail and Al Bayt, are charting a course to evolve into state-of-the-art multifunctional complexes. The spacious spectator areas of Lusail are intended to be transformed into a mix of commercial spaces, food outlets, academic centers, medical facilities, and, potentially, housing units. Al Bayt, on the other hand, is set to be transformed into a luxury hotel, a vibrant shopping district, and a modern health center. Although the football pitches will remain, the focus will shift from elite matches to community-focused activities. But it does not end there. 3 other stadiums, Ahmad bin Ali, Al Janoub, and Al Thumama, will remain dedicated to football, but are destined for substantial downsizing. Their generous capacity of 45,000 will be reduced to 20,000, mainly through the elimination of transient seating. Interestingly, however, this approach is not pioneering. Russia has already adopted a similar tactic with the temporary terraces of the Ekaterinburg Central Stadium. Qatar has pledged to donate seats to nations wishing to improve their sports facilities. Uruguay is said to benefit from this for its next World Cup. Reducing stadiums to a capacity of 20,000 seats can still lead to attendance problems. However, considering that the Qatari football championships often gather only a few hundred spectators. However, they have found a solution, and it is called Stadium 974, which has changed the way stadiums are designed. Built from 974 reused shipping containers. This stadium is entirely temporary, a first for the World Cup. This inventive approach to sports facilities could be considered for future World Cups, avoiding the construction of new facilities in each host nation. Imagine a series of mobile stadiums moving from one location to another. Unbelievable. After the World Cup, Qatar plans to use the facilities for upcoming global events, such as Brazil for the 2016 Olympics. Brazil reused 5 World Cup arenas for the Summer Olympics, but after the event, the scenery remained largely unchanged. In contrast, Qatar intends to host the Asian Cup, an elite football competition for teams from Asia and Oceania, the 2030 Asian Games, and a global athletics event with a higher participation rate than the Olympics. In all cases, the aim is to maximize the use of the World Cup facilities, ensuring that they serve an ongoing purpose. Furthermore, they have the ambition to host the Olympics, potentially by 2036. Whether these visions will materialize remains to be seen, but steps have already been taken. After the 5 December match between Brazil and South Korea, the dismantling of Stadium 974 began. Parts of this innovative facility are destined for Uruguay, aspiring host of the 2030 World Cup. We discussed the controversy surrounding allegations of corruption against FIFA and senior Qatari officials to obtain the World Cup in their country. An investigation that has led to countless resignations of FIFA officials. Just think of the implementation of the competition at Christmas time instead of in the summer as it has always been. Not to mention the data and investigations on work-related deaths in stadium construction. So, what ideas have you formed about this tribulated competition? What do you think of mobile stadiums like the ones described above? Could they be the future of world tournaments? Express your opinion in the comments section. If you like this video, press the like button and subscribe to Extraordinary Things. Thanks for tuning in, and see you at the next Extraordinary Things.